What up, everybody? This your boy, Bellamy. You are listening and watching Top Billin, the #1 podcast for the culture, the movement, and the discussion. Today, this episode is going to rock. I brought one of my favorite journalists, TV personality, authors in the building. You see him each and every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. You can read his wonderful work on White Fear, the browning of America that's making white people lose their mind.
No, white folks.
White folks.
See, I'm black. See, right. See, no, you get the white folks.
Folks
you got
lose their mind.
Lose
Ladies
their
and
minds.
Gentlemen, can we give a top billing welcome to Roland S. Martin?
What up? What up? What's going on? What's happening?
Roland, let me tell you, Roland, it is an absolute pleasure. I got a chance to get really close with you during the Tom Joyner days, and let me just tell you something. You don't get your flowers on how brilliant you are in your knowledge of politics and culture and sports and alphas. Like, you got so many angles you hitting cats with, and you a sleepy dope ass dancers, because I didn't know you could dance. I didn't know you could move all that. Yeah, you're moving.
All my stuff works.
All your shit work, and you're stylish. But more importantly, you have done something that very few people get an opportunity to do, to be your honest self on different platforms, from CNN to MSNBC. You've done everything. You've been on everybody's show, had your own show, and you have your own show, Unfiltered. How does Roland S. Martin become you? Like, how does a kid who's listening to this podcast decide they want to be a journalist and to turn that into becoming a persona or a personality?
Work I mean, but people come up to me all the time. They'll say, "Man, I want to do what you do," and I know what they're actually saying. They're not actually.
They don't want to do the work.
No, what they want is they want to be stopped to take selfies. They want the perks that come with being, and like I don't like to use celebrity, but I know how people use it. Okay. So that's actually what they want. So when they say, "I want to do what you do," and my response is, "But do you want to do what I do?"
Okay.
See, they don't want to know that part. See, because that's the thing. It's like, but do you want to do what I do?
Yeah.
So before we sat down here, I was like, yo, I got to do my show.
Correct.
I said, just give me a room. That's all I need. Okay. I didn't ask for people. Your guys like, hey, you need help? No, I'm good. And so everything. So what happened? It's in one suitcase. I popped it open, pulled my camera out, pulled my portable lights out, pulled my LU 800 out, pulled my microphone up, set everything up, set it up in about 15 minutes. Then took my USB drive out of the popped it into the TV, put my logo in the television. That was my backdrop. Boom, hit press start,
go.
Hit the control room. I said, all right, I'm ready. If need be, I got a portable teleprompter. I can put on there as well. Boom, again, self-contained. So I tell folk, so you want to do what I do, but do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you actually want?
You got to be on your hustle.
Do you want to? Do you want to learn the equipment? Do you want to know how all of this works? Because I'm also a CEO. I'm a businessman. So why am I going to sit here and, okay, if I came here, oh, I need to hire me a freelancer. Okay, now I'm about to pay you $600 to $800 for a day rate. Okay, I already got all the gear. I don't need your gear. Or I'll bring one of my people in. So why would I do that? Why am I going to fly somebody in, pay for a hotel room, pay per diem? I can set it up and damn self. Set it up, take it down, boom, we're good. Roll it on out of here, roll into the plane. So again, that's what I tell people. Do you want to do that? Do you want to learn how all of these different pieces work so you can be able to move and flow? And what's the difference between using that lavalier microphone or the DJI wireless microphone, or being able to use this and use that?
Yeah, man.
And that's the thing. And so folks don't want to learn that. They don't want to put that work in. I went to magnet school in Houston, Jack Yates High School, and the first semester of a sophomore year, so first year freshman was all academic, and then you chose your major, if you will. Correct. First semester we couldn't go to the studio. It was all learn the terminology, and again, that's what people don't understand. It's literally that's a 1/8 jack, that's an auxiliary cable, that's an XLR. Learning the craft, and then the second semester. She unlocked, like literally could not go into she would not, it was locked.
It was locked for you.
And she's like, no students. And so we go, second semester, we go in. Right. She unlocks the door. And so all the students rush to the set.
Correct.
And I go, let a person sit who tell them what to do. And she said, oh, they sit over there in the control room. So I've been in the control room.
Wow.
Because
you already had the vision.
Well, because everybody can't be on the set. See, that's the problem. Right now, you and I are on the set. There's 2 of us.
Correct.
1, 2, 3, and there's several others. There are more people who are not sitting on the set.
Yeah, that's making us look good.
So that's what people don't understand.
Absolutely.
And so that was my deal. I understood that. So my desire was actually never to be on camera. I was excellent in front of the camera, but I was even better behind the camera. But see, I understood the power was behind the camera. So that was the deal. So it was never, oh, I want to be on camera. I understood the power who makes the decisions, who's in charge, who says yes, who said no.
Correct.
So, but what ended up happening was, I go in front, I get behind the mic, I go in front of the camera, but while I was doing it, I also had the power. That's what it wasn't about being in the front. It was the power.
You had the power
so when
to
I
make
became
this decision.
So when I became news director, morning anchor at KKDA Radio, it wasn't the morning anchor part. It was the news director part.
Wow.
I didn't care about the morning anchor part.
No.
And that's what people don't understand.
Right.
I had a young staffer came to me, and so she wanted to be on air. And really her gifting is she can absolutely be a showrunner, executive producer. That's really her gifting. But she really, wanted to be on air. And she's like, well, you on air? I said, no, boo. I said, it says host, managing editor. If I'd have had a managing editor part,
you wouldn't have been
y'all can keep the host part.
Right.
Because I control the content. And that's what people don't understand. And so, man, cats they literally don't want to put in the work. They don't, I stay up. I'm researching, I'm pulling up stuff. I'm sitting here looking at different styles. I can sit here, I can look at this iPhone 13 and then look at, okay, fine. Okay, how are we going to shoot on cinematic mode? How are we going to shoot on this mode? Right. What am I going to do with it? And you're sitting here, again, you're studying your craft. See, what drives me crazy is when people look at athletes, comedians, actors, or whatever, and they don't understand
the work ethic,
the craft part.
Yeah.
Like the literal craft part. I had a woman who came on my show the other week. She was a sports journalist. And when we were done, I called her. I said, yo, hit me back. And so she hit me back. I said, I want you to go back. I want you to look at the video. I said, because your answers were too long. I want you to go back and look and see where you should have closed it in 45 to 48 seconds versus going to 1 minute 15, 120. I said, if you go 115, 120, you're reducing the amount of questions. I said, now, we were on together. It was one-on-one, 15 minutes. But what happens when you got a 6-minute segment, there are 2 other guests plus the host, there's 4 people, you got 6 minutes.
Yeah, people don't think of it like that.
And so I said, she was like, yo, I said, I want you to go back. I said, I want you to go back and I want you to look at it. I want you to repeat. I want you to play it back. I want you to see where you could have cut it off, where you could have hit the point. I said, but then you were trying to put 3 points all together when you should have hit that 1 point. Let me come back with a question. Then you come back with the next 2 points. Yeah. I said, to expand on it. I said, you have to learn. I said, you cover sports. Every quarterback, if you're right-handed, they have a clock in their head. You know when that outside linebacker is coming. You gotta feel that heat. You gotta know it. I said it's the exact same thing.
Correct.
You gotta understand timing. I said you gotta understand emotion. You gotta understand when you're going. Okay, how do I go high? How do I go low? You gotta understand. It's no different than when you're on the comedy stage.
Absolutely.
It's understanding the craft, and that's the thing that people don't want to do. They don't actually want to study the craft and learn how to be great. They want to be famous.
Hey, man, that's the age that we're in. Like,
but the work is what makes you famous.
You got to put in the work.
No, it's the work,
right?
It's the work that gets you. Ain't nobody just stopping you for a selfie just because.
No,
it's the work.
It's the work, and the thing that you've done over 25 years is just constantly work and constantly keep your brand consistent. And what I love about you, and especially watching you, I remember seeing you on, I think it was in MSNBC.
I was at CNN for 6 years. But I mean, I appeared on MSNBC.
Right. But I
was
saw
a contributor
you.
at CNN for 6 years.
So CNN.
Yep.
Saw you on CNN.
Yep.
You contributed on MSNBC.
No, I'm a guest. So, yeah. When you say contributor, that means you get paid.
Right.
They were free.
They were free.
They were free.
So when I saw you on CNN, I thought that was really, really a great look for you because you got a chance to be Roland Martin on a wide scale where they have diversity of topics.
But I was still me.
But that's what I was.
And see, that's what people don't understand,
bruh.
They don't understand.
You walked me right into it.
Because here's the deal. I never felt that, because gotta remember, I was at the Chicago Defender. Mm-hmm. I run 3 black newspapers. I read Tom Jones' BlackAmericanWeb.com. I've been news editor of Savoy Magazine, KKDA radio news director, and then before that, 2 daily newspapers, the Fort Worth Star Telegram, City Hall Reporter, Austin American Statesman, County Government Reporter. And the thing is, not one day did I ever think that CNN was better than the other ones.
Right.
See, that's the problem. A lot of black folks live by white validation. We think, oh my God, it's CNN, it's CNN. No. So CNN wasn't better than TV One. It was just bigger.
That's what I'm saying. And
that's what people don't get.
But for me, what I liked about it was I get to see my boy Roland Martin on a big platform,
yes,
and he get to do his thing.
Yes.
And when I say, can't nobody fuck with you? When I say, you like the dude that's my lifeline. Like if there's somebody on a topic and I want them to get chewed up, wait till Roland get here.
Oh,
okay. You want Roland? Roland gonna let you have it.
That was the deal.
How do you know how to do that? You are so good at that shit.
It is.
Damn.
It is. And this is straight up. I literally approach it the exact same way as an MC.
Ooh.
It's the exact same.
It's almost like a rap battle.
It's the exact same. It's no different.
Okay.
It's the exact same. It's no different than if you had a comedic versus.
Okay, I get it.
And it's like, Mike,
let's go.
So my deal is, when I walk in, I'm putting your ass in the rhetorical body bag.
I've never seen you lose.
We ain't sitting here.
Nobody is going to out-talk you, and nobody's going to throw weak numbers at you that ain't real.
Nope, because they ain't prepared. Because see the problem, they ain't prepared because they didn't read. I never forget. It was a State of the Union address, and Eric Erickson, big time conservative, who's with RedState.com, CNN touted, sent out a big old press release. He got hired, and I was like, motherfucker, let's send a press release when I got hired. Like, okay.
All right. Let's see what he.
So we sitting there, State of the Union. Obama gives a speech, and so we were on this side. Anchors were in the middle of the panel sitting over there.
Right.
And I'm sitting next to David Gergen, and so Eric goes, well, Obama didn't mention anything about small businesses. He didn't mention anything, and I was like, what the hell? I turned to get. I said, what the hell was he what? I was like, oh hell no. I knew Mike's what I know. I was like,
okay, here it comes.
So Campbell Brown goes. So he finishes. Campbell Brown goes. Eric, I think Roland wants to take exception. I said, I'm sorry. What speech were you watching?
Right.
I said, here. He specifically quoted a small business in Arizona. Here, he quoted this. I said, do you need to copy the speech? Boom.
Oh.
Nice.
See,
you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, okay.
See, and that's the thing. Bro. So what happens is, cats will sit here and they'll throw stuff out.
They can't do it with you.
And you sit. No, I ain't gonna let. My deal is you not gonna lie,
Roland.
And I'm coming after you.
Nobody is going to back you up in the corner, bro.
No,
nope. It's like what's the animal that's the best in the corner? Like a cat or like a goddamn cougar? Because you coming out swinging, and it's gonna be a problem.
I'm telling you, and that's why a lot of these shows are. I'm serious.
Are they afraid to have you on?
Yes, straight up.
They don't want it. They don't want the smoke.
Up. They don't. And see, to me, that's stupid. See, where I come from, again, I go back to MC. Okay. I go back to, like, for instance, Katz like, no, man, I don't want to sit here and follow Bernie Mac. No. Yeah. Here's how I think. If you wanna be the best,
you got to go after him. You got to go get.
I'm not just gonna concede.
No.
You gonna take me out?
We gotta fight it out.
I'm gonna work on my game.
Absolutely.
That's my mentality when I walk in, because see, for me, I'm thinking about the audience. I want the audience. One is information, but it still is entertainment. So you understand that.
Absolutely.
But I also want the audience to know I ain't letting this cat sit here and lie. You ain't just gonna make up some shit and then nobody say nothing.
Right.
And you're sitting here.
Right.
And like, no, we ain't doing that. And I never forget, man. Dude, you don't understand. I had some.
Bro, I love your fights. They like Ali fights.
Dog.
Bro, but they're politically, like, I like what you do. I'm going to give it an example like a Ali Foreman fight, but intellectual. It's intellectual. It's intellectual.
I understand. That's how I'm thinking.
You feel me?
I'm literally.
I was on a debate team in high school, and what I loved about debate was facts versus facts and presentation. What you got?
That's it.
Right there, I know that's a lie. So let me tell you why that's a lie, and I'm gonna prove why you lying.
That's it.
And then
that's it.
It's gangster.
And when you sitting there, dude, I remember I was on ABC this week, and so Anthony Scaramucci,
okay,
he's one of the guests. So man, they all sitting here. Oh my God, Anthony, I was like, fuck this look. I don't give a shit in his ass.
Right.
You know,
he don't scare me.
Don't scare, dude. I was like, man, whatever. So. So we in the green room, and so everybody's talking.
Do y'all speak before or no?
Well, it all depends.
Okay.
I ain't speak.
Oh, okay.
See,
in your zone.
See, again.
You're in your zone.
It all depends on who we're debating and what's about to go down.
Okay.
So we're sitting here, and so I remember it was Jen Psaki and maybe been Maggie Abrams in the New York Times. I can't remember. And so they were like, I've never been on a show with the Mooch. I said, his name is Anthony Scaramucci. I ain't calling no grown-ass man the Mooch. I said, that's some high school shit.
Right.
I ain't calling his ass the Mooch.
Right.
They were like
he in the West Side Story.
I ain't calling him the right. This ain't
Oh, y'all better get ready. Here come the Mooch.
Here come the Mooch. This ain't Porky's. I'm like, I ain't doing that.
Right.
So, man, I'm sitting here. So they came and got me. So I ain't saying nothing. Like, everybody talking, I ain't saying nothing. So they came and got me, and it was like, okay, time to go to makeup. And so he goes, hey, don't make him up too good, because I got to be the best looking person on the show. Mm-hmm. I'm standing in the doorway to makeup. I said, yo, I'm only gonna be here in 90 seconds. This called good DNA.
Sorry about that, Mooch.
and walked into the damn makeup room. Came out, didn't say nothing.
Right.
Sat in there, chilling. I ain't speaking to nobody.
Right.
I'm just sitting over here
locked in.
Like I'm about to fuck him up.
I'm about to bust your ass.
I'm telling you. So we go out. It's 5 of us on the set plus George. 3 of us over here is tight as hell. He's right here on the corner. So now people understand it's the same thing. You can't rush a joke.
Correct.
You can't rush the debate. You gotta wait for your moment.
Let it come to you.
Same thing in boxing.
You
gotta wait for it. You wait. So I'm sitting there. If people go back and watch the video, okay, she talked. Okay. She talked. All right, he talking. Then all of a sudden George turns to me, and so Scaramucci had dogged Trump. This was before he started supporting him.
Right.
So I remember what he said about him. So I'm talking to George, but I start repeating what some folks said about Trump.
Correct.
I'm quoting him.
Correct.
I ain't looking at him. George is right here.
Game time.
He's right here. I'm sitting here talking to George.
Correct.
I quote his ass, and then he takes the bait, like the Mooch would.
Right.
So he goes, well, wait a minute. I said that because Trump came after me like I'm about to come after you.
Done.
It was his ass took the bait. And I literally
got him.
I'm looking at George. And I don't even turn my body. I just turn my head. I go, try it. Now, I know, see this again, people don't say, I know the director missed the shot. I know how, again.
He come back to that control room.
I know he missed the shot. I know he missed the shot.
Okay, what you do?
So Mooch talking, I said, try it a second time. Because I knew he wasn't going to miss the shot.
Yeah, he was set for you.
So if you go to YouTube, he missed the first shot.
Right.
And I went, try it.
gonna get it.
From that point on, his ass was messed up. When it was over, he was like, he goes, all right, you got me that time. He was like, Bill. He goes, turn Bill Crystal. He's like, Bill, why don't you give me some help? I was like,
you can't no help.
I told her, I said, I ain't never asked for help.
You don't need it. Bro, you so good at
I literally told him, I said, I ain't never asked for help. I was like, dude, I ain't sitting. He was just, and so then he goes on a radio show the next day, and they brought it up, and like, yo, bro, my whoop your ass. And he was like, he got low, he tried to Trump. He got low IQ.
What?
So somebody tweeted me. They said, yo, Scaramucci on dogging
talking
you.
Shit.
I hit his ass. I said, so I whooped your ass yesterday.
Right.
And you still want, I said, let me know when you want to debate.
You don't want it.
Pick a day.
Oh, no. God.
I said, dude, I ain't even, bro, that literally, look, when I destroyed Christie, man, when I destroyed him on ABC, that was September 2021. I ain't been back since.
Yeah, they're not going to have you back.
I ain't been back since.
They got to have somebody that's equally
He
yoked.
was so hot. He was so mad.
They can't out-talk you,
He
Roland.
went to executives. He said, that was an ambush. Hold up. You a contributor on the show. How the fuck did I ambush you? I was invited. And wait a minute. We were discussing your speech.
Right.
They were discussing his speech at the Reagan Library. I ain't even choose the topic. We in the break. Stephanopoulos says we gonna talk about to Yvette Simpson, who's a contributor, a sister. We're gonna discuss Christie's speech at the Reagan Library. I'm on the end. I'm like on the end over here. I ain't got no say so in no topics.
On nothing.
I'm just a guest.
Right.
So I see them talking. He said, we're gonna bring the speech up. I ain't say nothing. And so she goes, you really want to do that? He's like, yeah, we're gonna bring it up. And I'm over there chilling. I'm like, bring that motherfucker up. I was like, oh, I can't wait till you bring that. So this is literally me and chill like, bring that speech. But this is how I was sitting.
You gonna walk them into the grenade. They
Bro,
walk
that's
right
literally how the inside was like, I was like, oh, bring that speech up. Dude, when he, and again, timing. If you go back and watch it, him and Joy talking, they talking. They go to Yvette, they talking. They go to Sarah.
They got the pit bull in the corner.
They talking. And then it came to me.
Yeah! Boy,
That's what so
I love when you do that. I root for you.
Bruh,
because
that thing was viral for 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
For 4 days. Then one of the right-wing websites gonna post the video thinking they dogging me. They embarrassed Christie. That bad boy hit 1 million views in 24 hours. They thought, yeah, it was a MRC, Newsbusters.
Yo.
Your asses got fooled. They thought
they was hurting you, and it was tearing Christie out the frame.
Dude, Christie went to execs. That's why I ain't never been back. And here's the crazy part. now here's what's dumb. Right. This is me. And this is what's dumb. This is why all these networks are just dumb. When you got a segment like that's viral, cats are talking about it
that's
for
good.
4 days.
That's good TV.
You like, yo.
Let it run.
But
let it run.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You don't sit here and go, no, we don't want to hurt Chris's feelings, so
take it down.
So we're not gonna invite him back, dude. Because that happened at CNN, 2008 election. Glen Beck, he was on HLN.
Right.
He wanted to be on CNN. He was like, so he was hitting him. He wanted to come on. He wanted to come on. And so they brought him on. Wolf Blitzer. That's why I wish people today don't. If I had access to my old stuff on CNN, they'd be like, damn.
Right.
So we sit here, man. So it's Glen Beck and me, and and the reason I couldn't stand that punk ass because I did his HLN show one time.
Right.
And he pissed me off because he had 2 guests in studio, had my ass from a satellite room, and I was in New York.
Oh, he didn't want you in there.
They on the 4th floor. I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? That was the 5th floor.
They got you in the virtual room.
My office on the same floor. I'm in the virtual room. And when I come on,
that's ridiculous.
So when I come on, I sit down. I was like, "Well,
where's everybody at?
Them 3 motherfuckers on the set." I was like,
okay. Here come the smoke. Go get it. Okay. Locked and loaded.
Lit that ass up.
I know you. Oh my God.
Dude, he would not have me on. So they finally, that's what they put us on. They put us on. So we sitting there, and I'm telling
you hot,
dude. I'm cold.
Okay.
I'm chilling like I'm about to fuck him up
right now,
dude. So we start debating. I start hitting his ass, and at one point I start laughing at him. And a white man in media cannot stand being laughed at because they're being mocked.
Right.
Did it on purpose. He reaches over. He's talking. He's like, he goes. Grabs my. I'm glad to see my music in you. I said, no. Go ahead and finish. I'm gonna deal with you in about 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Light that ass up. But the one dude, when I say I ate him up.
Which one?
We did Anderson Cooper.
Oh my God.
So they told us, they said, hey, it was a debate. Tim Russert, Brian Williams was NBC debate. They said, we want both of you to watch the debate, come back, and we want you to do debate analysis. All right, so man, I can't go to my hotel room. I'm staying in my office. I'm watching it. I come down to the set. We sit down. We're in a break. Anderson is going through the question. He's like, all right, guys. So what part of the debate do y'all want to start with? He goes, this is what Glen Beck says, quote, "Oh, I didn't watch it." I was like,
what?
I was like, wait, hold up.
How you gonna do a debate and you don't know what we debating about?
I was like, y'all paying this motherfucker $2, $3, $4, $5 million, and he ain't watched the shit. And I had to sit here and watch all that shit, and I ain't want to watch that bullshit. And I was like, are you sick? I was like, okay. And Anderson goes, so what are we gonna talk about?
Right. If you didn't watch it, like
right. Anderson goes, what are we gonna talk about? He goes, I'll leave those little specifics to Roe. See, everybody watching, when a motherfucker do this with their hand,
that's dismissing you.
When somebody does this, or they go,
oh,
or this,
oh Lord,
that some bitch went, I'll leave the specifics to Roland. And Anderson looked at me, looked back at him. I said, I'm about to fuck him up. I said, I'm about to.
Oh, nuclear. You're going nuclear.
I said, I'm y'all, boy. If y'all think I'm lying, have somebody at CNN pull that video. Bruh, when that red light hit, when that tally light hit, my ass, yeah! Bruh, when I got done with Glen Beck,
he was shredded.
When I got done, this is literally how he walked off the set. He got out, he went.
Roland, you stupid.
Dude, he got.
How are you able to?
Bruh, he got, hold on. So Sam Feist, who was a deputy bureau chief, who's now the Washington bureau chief, comes running out. Oh my God, that was great. Oh my God. He was like, that was amazing. Glen Beck.
He shook. Silence of the lambs.
Bruh, he was in a catatonic state. The next day,
right,
they hit his producer. They're like, yo, can we have you and Roland do something in the 1 o'clock out? Nope. Okay, we can tape it.
No,
nope.
Sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, fine. Live on the sit room. Nope.
No, sir.
That some bitch said, straight up, Glen punk ass Beck said, I ain't never appearing with him again. Then he said, in fact, I'm not debating. If I come back on CNN, right. Remember he begged to come on. I'm not appearing with anybody, only me and a host.
Oh, he can't.
Dude, he did not. He was like, hell no. They said, we can accommodate, we can take. No. And when they told me that shit, every time I sit here.
Bro, you are the annihilator.
I would be coming down the hallway. I pop into his office. Hey!
You just go put some salt on that.
Straight up. Hey!
Now, why wasn't Don Lemon able to do what you do?
Because
what do you think Don Lemon went wrong with that interview?
Well, first off, one, they already had a bullseye on his back. when they got a bullseye on your back, they just waiting for you to slip up.
Right.
That's all. They
one more thing.
And they know you're going to slip up. Okay? Because instinctively, you're going to sit here and do something. Where Don messed up in that debate, Don brought emotion. That's where they got him.
Stay out your feelings.
If you go back and look at the video,
okay. First
he said he was dismissive of the guy's identity. You know, whatever your identity is. That's where they got him. Okay?
Okay.
See, what he did is, and then the guy was like, well Don, here's the history. Don got emotional. You know, how you gonna tell me as a black man? That's emotion. When you know you got a bullseye on your back, you don't go emotional.
You can't. You got to be.
That's when you sit here. Now remember, he was trying not to engage because Poppy was like, "Don, you got anything to question?" Like, "No, I'm good," and she kept like, so he jumped for it. What he should have said is, well, look at the history. Specifically, what? What was the bill? What was the law? Oh, by all means, please tell me this. See, he didn't force it. See, Vivek went general. No. That's when you hit him with specifics.
Yeah.
And see, what Don should have said is, so if the NRA care about the freedom of black people, why is it that when the Black Panthers brought the long guns to the state capitol in Sacramento, the NRA with Governor Ronald Reagan immediately passed a law banning it?
Yeah.
Boom.
Done.
That's a statement of fact.
Correct.
Of the Black Panthers who studied the law, Huey P. Newton. The law said you can carry long rifles, as long as they're pointed in the air. That was the law. Once the Negroes did it, they said, hey, come here. Change this damn law.
Yeah.
The NRA stood with Ronald Reagan on that. See, what Don should have said is, Vivek, if the NRA cares so much about black people, why is it that every time we had an African-American who was lawfully carrying a weapon, such as Philando Castile, he was shot and killed by the cops, why didn't the NRA come to his defense? See?
There you go.
He came back with emotion.
Yeah. And it's a tricky thing because I often watch you and I go, wow, because you're brilliant with facts, you're brilliant with composure, and that's a gift, right? You're not allowing the situation to dictate your attitude. No. You're the facts dictate your attitude.
You gotta know when to bring heat,
okay,
when to pull it back, when to like really go at somebody, and not sitting here. Because there's sometimes when you have to show emotion, but the emotion has to be bracketed with factual information. Because what you're trying to create, I'm telling you, it is no different than boxing. Is no different than being an MC. I'm trying to put your ass in that corner.
Correct.
Well, you can't come this way, you can't come that way.
Walking you
All
down.
You can do is absorb these punches. I'm about to hit your ass with body blows. Right. I'm hitting you. And see, again, most cats, they trying to go for the head. Right. No, I'm going to hit you with, what happened? Javante, what happened? How did the fight stop? When he hit Garcia ass with a body shot.
And it was
Roy Jones hit Katz body shots.
Body shots.
Katz not prepared for the body shots. They think you come at, no. And then the other thing is, you have to listen to them talk.
Right.
Because, see, they going to slip up. They going to slip. Tucker Carlson never would call me. Never. He was like,
well, they let Tucker Carlson go too. Like,
yeah, but he was like,
I don't think Tucker Carlson wants your smoke.
Oh, no. Listen, Sean Hannity, I had some black Republicans who know Sean, went to Sean and was like, Sean, bring him up. He did a thing with Sharpton in New York at the National Action Network conference. And I was like, oh, okay. He been running for me all this time.
Oh, you ducking me?
So,
is it really like that?
You know what my ass did?
You went over there.
Just like where the boxers sit ringside?
Yeah. We gonna go
my ass was ringside. I stood over there by the exit.
So they don't act like you don't see me.
He came off the stage and he was like, he goes, well, you're not kidding debate because you're a contributor on CNN. I said, that's your TV show. I come on your radio show.
Yeah, let's go on the radio.
His ass was on, doc.
We don't have guests.
No part, because the first time I met him, Radio Hall of Fame, Bruce Dumont introduced him. And I was like, yeah. I said, I've been on Bill O'Reilly's show. And he said something. He said something to me. He's like, oh, really? He's like, you're the Bill show? I said, yeah. I said, oh, but you could tell. This is what he was doing with Alan Combs. I said, oh, you could tell Combs take the night off. I don't need no help. See, right there. He was like, they were like, damn, bro.
So you guys are like gladiators.
No, that's what it is.
Most times it's embellished facts or not. But what I admire about it is it's a different language. When I go to DC and I hang around my guys that are on the Hill and they talk all that government stuff, it's almost like, oh my God, like it's policies and things. You were the first person that knew that Obama was going to win before the world knew, and you explained the math of it all. And I remember we were at something in DC, and you were like, "Oh, this is done. This is done. This because the numbers was this, that, and the other, and if he wins this state, that's just really gonna make it." And I was like, "Roland, how the fuck you know that?" You was like, "Bill, listen." This is what I do. You tell the jokes. I know this shit.
Yeah. And people again, what people don't understand is it's and then when you're doing it, you have Joe Madsen has a great phrase. You got to put it where the ghost can get it. Like Ricky Smiley called me. He was like, "Bro, I got to have you back on my show. Every time you come on, the phone lines blow up because you got to explain stuff in layman's terms where people can get it."
Yeah, because I always call you when I'm like puzzled, and you always have the best. And like, all right,
you call me, Johnny Gill will call me,
I have
Michael Bivens will call me, Katz will call, and I'm like, and I tell, but I tell entertainers though, yo, call a brother before you go speak on something.
Please don't.
So I can arm you. Yeah. I do. I tell them, I said, look, this ain't what you do.
This ain't your lane.
I said, call anytime.
You like my politics Google. Like if it's a topic, I call Roland and I know I'm straight. I want to ask you a question, and maybe we could tell us for the listeners.
Yeah.
Why do you think was the real reason that they wanted to roll back Roe versus Wade?
Oh, from day one.
Why?
Oh, because they absolutely, the Republican Party has been dominated. Go back to the moral majority, Jerry Falwell, Pat Robertson, mid to late 1970s.
Right.
That's when they began. They were all about. These are the same people who were against pornography. If people remember the savings and loan scandal, the Keating Five, that was Charles Keating. If Charles Keating was actually an anti-pornography dude, they were opposing Deep Throat. See, so people got to understand history. Deep Throat comes out early 70s. What was that? 72, 73. Okay, all that. Okay, huge phenomenon. Okay, Title IX. Everybody think Title IX is about sports. No, it's not. It's about allowing women. That's when women became doctors, lawyers, all of that. So all these things begin to happen in the 70s. Then you get Roe v. Wade. Okay, so then the moral majority comes up, and they now become a huge force, a dominant force in the Republican Party. That's who Ronald Reagan appeals to. So they made it clear from day one, they do not believe in abortion. They call themselves pro-life, but they're not actually pro-life. See, that's why when I destroyed that black conservative on the show, Dina Baz, I was like, y'all ain't pro-life. Y'all anti-abortion. Because you can't be pro-life if you ain't supporting policies dealing with black maternal health care. Facts. You can't be pro-life if you don't support Medicaid expansion. You can't be pro-life if you don't believe in funding prenatal care. You can't be pro-life when black women are dying at 3 times the rate than white women doing childbirth, but y'all ain't doing nothing about it. When there's a shortage of gynecologists in Mississippi, you're not pro-life. You're simply anti-abortion. Facts. And see, the problem is, again, this is where people mess up in debates. If I'm debating you and I'm debating your language,
okay,
I'm on your turf.
Facts.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit there and actually one of the ways that reinforced this, David Letterman. I know people think I'm like, did he just talking about abortion, David Letterman? but explain what happened. Letterman wants to leave NBC.
Right.
They say Michael Over's like, yo, we can't negotiate with anybody for 18 months. He's like, we got to figure something out. Then he goes, let's reverse the process. We can't negotiate, they can pitch us.
Correct.
And that's what they did. So this whole idea about debating is reversing the process. I'm going to take your argument, I'm going to reverse the process, and now I'm going to define life totally different. Now I'm going to force you to now defend all that life stuff you don't vote for.
Okay.
Because you say you're pro-life. Catholic Church, hugely pro-life. White conservatives love the Catholic Church position on abortion, but the Catholic Church is also against the death penalty. So I go, well, wait a minute. If you pro-life, then why aren't you like the Catholic Church? They absolutely are against abortion, but they're against the death penalty, but you're not. Is it that life? Oh, you're a Christian. Well, what if that particular person who you choose to kill, what if he would have decided to accept Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior?
Now what?
Before you killed him. See, now
it's quiet.
Now and now
yeah. This is what I love about it.
Now they got to debate that. So that's the mistake. If you go in and I'm fighting you on your terms, no, I'm gonna flip that. And that's the thing. Now you gotta challenge them going, hold up, so y'all voted against all this stuff. Oh, so y'all pro-life, but y'all want to cut SNAP benefits, and some 30,000 people die annually due to starvation. Do their lives matter? Exactly. See, now you got, hold up, no, but that's what you said, no, but you're pro-life.
Yeah, but it doesn't apply. That's the thing about it. Like, it doesn't go across every category. So you select.
So you force them to go. No. If you pro-life, that's what when I hit home, girl, and it just came out when I said, if you're gonna be pro-life from the womb to the tomb.
Gangster,
dude. Folks like
drop the mic. Whoa! Drop the mic.
Oh, that thing went viral. that thing went viral. But again, and that's the thing,
right?
That folk, what they don't get is that, because Ali Sadiq called me. He said, man, I watch your show like it's church.
It is, man.
I said, and
it's
I told him.
It's informative, it's intelligent, and it teaches you things you don't necessarily read about in the paper because you get in there. You get into the nuances of what's going on.
And I know folks don't read it. So what we do, that's why we use the phrase, we connect the dots. We want to walk you through, connect the dots, and go, hold up. So that impacts that?
Yeah.
Which touches that? Yes. So let me explain to you how. And that's the thing. That's why, dude, and I tell everybody, if y'all want to know about Saucy, what's that dude named Saucy Santana? And if y'all want to know about Kim Kardashian, if y'all want to know about
Kanye,
Glorilla, and any of them, don't come to me.
You don't know that.
No, because the deal is, I got 2 hours.
Right.
And if that's what you want, it's a bunch of other. That's my biggest problem with most black-owned media. Right. They don't actually have news. It's gossip. It's entertainment.
Entertainment.
And it's so much of that already, but where can you get real information? There's nothing more amazing that will move me to tears when people will come up to me, and I'm talking about grown men, women, children.
Correct.
Folks will say, man, I used to watch you with my parents on CNN.
Absolutely.
And remember, I left CNN 10 years ago. And now they are in their 20s and 30s, and they say, I now understand politics because you taught me.
Absolutely, man.
I met people who said, I ran for office because of you.
Yeah.
And so when you understand that level of impact, now, and you know people are listening, that's why, and I tell them, I say, listen, if y'all want to do them housewives shows, literally, when I had my TV One show, you could not. We had a housewife came on. I was absent. I said, yo, I was out that day. I was like, yo, y'all can't mention the show. Like I have an absolute. My deal is like, again, managing editor.
Right.
Don't mention that show, because if that's what you want, you got to go somewhere else. Because we don't, and we black people are where we are because of Frederick Douglass's The North Star, Ida B. Wells Barnett, because of Negro Digest, Ebony, Jet, because of the Chicago Defender, Pittsburgh Courier. It was information.
Absolutely.
Dr. King had a column in Ebony magazine. Okay, he was covered by the black press. It was the black press that actually helped find and transport witnesses who testified in the Emmett Till in the trial of Emmett Till's lynching. So folks have no idea the role that the black press has played in the development of black people. And my deal is we got to have that, because Bill, I ain't lying, man. I've been saying this for years. The scariest thing for me is if 10, 20 years from now, we are asking non-black people to tell our story.
Oh, no. That's, well, now they got AI, which is real scary. It might,
that's the scary, because I can't, my deal is we should never be in that position.
Correct.
You've got, man, look, Harry Belafonte dies. Harry Belafonte dies April 25th. We did a 2-hour special, 2.5-hour special that night. Hour the next night. An hour the next night. Hour the next night. We're going to stream my interviews with him. We probably will end up doing probably 15 hours of coverage of his life.
Nobody else is going to do
mainstream. I can guarantee you. I don't even have to look. I guarantee you it's 5 minutes combined on ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News combined. Yeah. Harry Belafonte, 96. We'll do a little something. And my deal's like, no. Because of what it's, but again, that's what happens, one, when you own. Because they ain't got to ask permission.
Correct.
If I say we're doing 2.5 hours, there are no votes. The woman asked me, she goes, how do y'all, she said, so when
how do y'all decide?
So when y'all decide stories, y'all sit in the meeting? I was like, they sit in the meeting.
Right.
I said, they have a meeting.
They do. I don't.
I said, they have a meeting where they go over what we're going to talk about. I said, that I've already sent directives. I said, she says, oh, so do y'all vote? I said, no, ain't no vote. I said, there are no votes. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, no. I was like, I'm sorry, who's voting? I was like, I said, I'll vote.
I have a question for you. As vocal as you are, and as honest as you are, do you feel that the climate or the woke culture or this whole, the sort of like safe, everyone's scared to say anything, affect how you move?
No, because first of all, you have the people who've completely overused woke, and it's non-black people who overuse it. Black people know exactly what the hell woke is, and we know what it means. But like everything that we do, folk take it and they run with it. But we also have to understand that that's also the strategy of those who oppose us. The strategy is to take what is ours and again now reframe it and now allow that to now become the definition. And so by attaching to everything, and then what happens is in an effort for us to defend woke, we then start defending what they've now defined, and I don't do all that. They're like, oh, this is woke. That shit ain't woke.
That shit still sleep.
And then right here, and then this me. That shit ain't woke.
Right. At all.
And then look at me like, oh, I'm sorry, was there anything else we supposed to add? See, again, I'm not going to engage.
Right.
Because you now want to redefine what it is. I'm not going to sit here and do that. And so it's understanding, look, when the whole critical race theory came out, they've done the playbook numerous times. They wanted to stick everything under the critical race theory banner. That's literally the thesis of my book, White Fear, How the Browning of America Making White Folks Lose Their Minds. Their whole deal is, all right, okay, so we going to, remember, they attacked quotas, they attacked affirmative action,
right.
They attacked multiculturalism, they attacked diversity. Now they're attacking diversity, equity, inclusion. So anything that's black, they're going to attack it. So their strategy was, let's attach anything that's diverse, equitable, inclusion, under woke, under critical race theory. That was their strategy.
Just throw it in the bag.
And that was the deal. Christopher Rufo, that fool, literally tweeted that. And I said, y'all, stop, don't engage these fools because you're playing into their strategy. Understand their strategy. And that's the thing, man. People have to learn. I remember Simone Sanders. She'll confirm this story. When she was at CNN, I never forget. They were on the set, and it was Simone, Angela Rye, some other people, and it was Corey Lewandowski. And I remember a lot of people think, oh man, that segment was fire. And so I went to go do this network, and Simone said, Roland, I got some questions. I was like, well, I'm going to get some ice cream. You can carry my damn bag if you want to. Right. And Simone was like, oh, so we go to the ice cream place. So we sit down, and she says, oh, man, everybody's telling us how amazing that segment was. I said, that segment was trash. She's like, damn, Roland? I said, no, the segment was trash.
Right.
She's like, what do you mean? I said, okay, Let me show you. I pull up my laptop. We pull it up. I said, hit play. Angela and Simone were talking about something, and they were going. Corey throws something out. He threw the bait out. It was like, and Simone and Angela grabbed it.
Okay.
It was something that wasn't on topic. They chased it down the rabbit hole. I said, play it back. He completely changed the whole debate, and y'all fell for it. I said, she was like, what you would have done? I would have said, Corey, we'll discuss that next week. That's not today's topic. Boom.
It's topic. So
I said, but
you let it go.
I said, but you responded emotionally. He got you. I said, so he shut the whole debate. I said, he shifted the entire debate. She's like, how in the world? I said, because I've done that. When you understand, I've done it where,
yes.
Okay, we see where y'all going. Let me shift this shit. Frot, you jump forward. I just sit back.
So you say, so if I could give if I could give an analogy, not only do you study the game, you master it. It's like chess moves.
Dude, Van Jones, and Van to confirm this. So when CNN hired Van Jones and Charles Blow,
okay,
they hired them purposely not to use me. I'm telling you. There was a meeting, because guess what? Some of my friends were in the meeting. Okay. They had a meeting, and they were like, Roland Martin
got to get out.
Is not going to become a star after the 2012 election like he did in 2008. They had a meeting.
Okay.
An absolute meeting. And so they were like, so they hired Van, Charles Blow. They had a bunch of other different people. We go to the Republican National Convention in Tampa. Now, I'm doing Soledad show. Soledad like, yo, I want Roland. Soledad was like, Roland's on, like, have another host.
Right.
They were like, no, Roland's not going to be on. And she's like, and I'm sitting right there. They flown me to Tampa. They're paying for the hotel room. We ain't using them.
Ooh.
Next week is Charlotte. Dude, Monday night, 10 p.m., my phone rings. Lucy Spiegel, who handled all the contributors, this is the night before the Democratic National Convention. She goes, hey, we're not going to need you this week.
What?
I am in a hotel room in CNN paying for.
On site.
I am in Charlotte.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, excuse me?
Right.
We on TV damn near 24 hours a day. You telling me I'm not going to be used on any show for the next 4 days?
No, they don't want the smoke, Roland.
They did not. And then somebody, and so I went and told a couple of my friends who execs in other areas.
Okay.
See, I don't just focus on my area.
All right.
And they went and told some other folk. Next thing, the phone call came down. No, he going to be on the air. And I never forget, we on, and we talking about me and Ari Fleischer, and they were in another room. They had John King, Anderson Cooper, and I was going in on Mitt Romney having no housing plan. So John King, Mr. Magic Wall.
Right.
Oh, no, Mitt Romney has a housing plan. I'm like, no, he don't. That shit came out of my mouth. I know what that.
He don't have one. And
he was like, oh, Roland, I can sure he does. I was like, no, he don't. I'm telling you, he has no housing plan. So we going back and the answer's like, well, okay, guys, we'll sell later. And I was like, what the hell we got to sell later? Here's why. I had just written a column the week before. Housing was my expertise when I covered city government. I had researched it. Bruh, we go to the commercial break. You know my ass. Grab my phone. Boom, boom, boom. Wait till we come back. They came back.
Locked and loaded.
They came back to me and Ari. We talked about something else, and I went, Anderson, by the way, I just checked. Ain't no housing playing on MittRomney.com. Right. Dude, I ain't sitting here. You ain't going to sit here and play. Dude, shut it down. So here's what happened. So they come, convention's over. I'm like, I go to Ken Jouts. I was like, yo, I saw what y'all did in Charlotte and Tampa. Right. Just let me know right now. Are y'all going to use me on any debate nights? No, we're not. I already knew right then. Now, mind you, I know the numbers.
Absolutely.
I know the CNN. John Klein said, Roland, we see the research minute by minute when the ratings spike. Yeah. He said, we will go, what happened at 8:38 p.m.? Why did the numbers jump?
Roland
They
shut
would go to the
somebody down.
videotape. They would go, "Oh, Roland got introduced."
Yeah.
He told me that point blank. Dude, they were like, "No, when you so Van," I said, so I called Van. I said, "Van, listen." I said, "These white execs, they ain't gonna have two black men fighting."
Okay.
They made a decision. They gonna freeze. They purposely froze me out.
Correct.
And they were aided by a black man, Mark Whitaker, who don't even come speak to me, Mark Whitaker.
Right. At all.
First black, managing editor of Newsweek magazine. No, because he was a part of it. He was a big hater.
Okay.
Mark Whitaker.
Yeah.
So check this out. So I called Van. I said, "Van, listen,
Right.
bro. Van," I said, "I see what they doing."
Right.
I said, "But bro, you getting killed." I said, "S.C. Cup and Newt Gingrich is eating your ass alive." Because they brought back like Crossfire. I was like, "Say, bro, if you're going to be representing black people, we can't have that." So what I did, and Van has said it publicly, I would call Van after every appearance. Say, "Bro, man, why you let her do that?" And I would go over the segment.
Right.
And then one day I told him, I said, "Van, you understand," I said, "Yo, when you're on the set and they go from y'all and they go across the room over to David and Glory and Wolf, what you doing?" "Oh, man, we might go." I said, "No, I need you to be watching." He's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I need you to be watching." I said, "I need you to be listening to their conversation. I need you to watch the camera angles." I said, "Because see, you in the background, they in the foreground." I said, "So Wolf is over there talking. So Wolf is," I said, "you in the background, he can see you in the background. He's talking to Gloria." I said, "If David or Gloria says something you disagree with, I want you to look at the sight lines of where the camera is. So if they say something that you disagree with, if you just lean this way, you right there in the sight line, I want you to do this here." He was like, "What?" I said, "I want you to shake your head."
Yeah.
I said, because Wolf is
And
looking at them.
And they can't cut you out.
And Wolf is gonna see you, and he gonna see you in the background shaking your head. I said, and instinctively he's gonna say, "Well, David, our colleague Van Jones disagreed with what you just said." I said, "You just now threw the conversation from them all the way over to you."
Holla. Hey, that's
Bruh,
all game. That's game.
And those are the conversations Van and I would have every time he would come on after every debate. And I was like, "Bro, you got to learn how to shift. You got to learn how to." You were long-winded. And he said to me, he said, "Man, we sit here." He said, "Man, we sit here at home on the couch thinking we can do this." I said, "No, bro." I said, "This is what I do."
Absolutely.
You are a lawyer. You do environmental. This is what I went to school for.
And you do
what
it
what I've done since I was 14.
Yes, sir.
I said, you got to learn how to. This is game.
How to fight. How to play the game. Your whole thing is control room. Control the room.
Yes.
And for all the listeners and all the people that will watch this on YouTube, learn how to control your room. If you got anything out of this interview, it's doing the homework first. Know what you're doing, know what you're up for, and be prepared for that. So now you got all your weapons.
Always. Reading. Man, I'm gonna give you, Bill. I know you're out of time. I'll give you one more. Straight up, 100% truth.
Okay.
Me and Bill Bennett, we on the air. This is 2008 election, the night Obama wins South Carolina.
Right.
Man, this some bitch. He ain't in studio.
Not some.
This some bitch. This some bitch. He by satellite.
Spell it.
This some bitch. S-U-M. Some bitch.
Some bitch.
He goes, this is straight up. He said this. He said, the night Reverend Jesse Jackson won South Carolina, that was black history. Obama winning tonight is American history.
What?
Bro, I was on the set in New York. I was like, turn my microphone on.
Turn it on.
Said,
turn on right now.
I said, turn my microphone on.
Right now.
Turn my mic. So Bob, the floor director, Bob goes, hey guys, Roland wants you to turn his microphone. He's trying to get in the conversation. I was like, turn my microphone on.
Right.
So man, so Wolf was interviewing, so they tossed to me, and I was like, Bill, let me walk you through something. First of all, it was offensive what you just said. So I began to sit here. So I dropped some little knowledge. Okay. Right. His ass didn't take the hint. I hit him with a jab.
Right.
He want to keep fighting.
Oh, he won't swing with you.
So he decided to swing back. So he started talking. Turn my microphone on. Turn my microphone on.
Right.
So they came back to me. And again, my whole counting was like, His ass didn't get it the first time. And I said, Bill, I said, you have the audacity to say that Obama winning is American history. I said, Donna Brazile does not become the campaign manager for Al Gore unless she works on Reverend Jackson's campaign and driving around on a bicycle going door to door in Houma, Louisiana. I said, Richard Shelby, I said, does not win the U.S. Senator's race in Alabama with the 2 million folks Reverend Jackson put on the register in the South. I said he was a Democrat. He rewarded them by flipping to Republican. But Richard Shelby's in the United States Senate because of the voters Reverend Jackson put on. I said there's a short white man in Minnesota who you know him as Senator Paul Wellstone. He laid out in a plane crash. I said you would not be senator. He would not be senator if he wasn't the state director of Reverend Jackson's campaign in Minnesota. I said, don't you ever diminish Reverend Jackson's campaign and call that black history when all of those people, and I've met people who became city council members and county commissioners and sheriffs who had never run for office but ran on his coattails. I said, that is American history.
Holla!
Hit his ass with that goddamn roundhouse. He was like Roberto Duran, no mas.
Hey,
again,
Roland,
if you don't have the information, you can't swing.
There you go. Roland, it is an absolute pleasure to have you on Top Billin. You are one of the most dynamic people I know, and your information is just enormous. I got to have a little fun with you before we get out of here, because I know we talk politics and talk all about, but we got to have some fun. This is a special part of the show with all our special guests. It's called All Facts.
Okay.
All facts. I ask you a question, you just got to tell me the truth.
Got it.
All right, Roland Martin. All facts.
Got it.
If Donald Trump gets completely indicted, will it stick, yes or no?
Oh, it'll stick, especially the one out of Georgia. Fannie Willis got his ass.
You think?
Oh, absolutely. For one, he gonna lose his civil rape trial. So remember, Trump organization Letitia James already convicted them. The Trump organization. So here I got that one L. Well,
Okay.
Biden gave him that first L. Letitia gave him that L. He gonna get an L in this E. Jean Carroll rape case. And with Fannie Willis hit his ass, and she gonna hit about 15, 20 other people as well. Yeah, it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick. It's gonna stick like that orange ass spray he got on his head. It's gonna stick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's
give it
gonna
up
stick.
for Roland S. Martin on Top Billin, baby.
I ain't even give you my Trump White House story. I ain't even give you that.
You got to
one.
come back. You got to come back.
I ain't even give you that
You
one.
got to give me.
When everybody like, Mr. President, I said, I can't call some bitch Mr. President.
No, yo, Roland, you have to come back.
All right,
Please.
dude.
Roland Martin, you are on the platinum list.
Hold on, we did an IG one day, and people were like, damn, you got stories too? I said, Bill, I was like, y'all don't understand. I said, when we start talking about stories, my God.
Bro, Roland, you have missed your calling. One calling, I just destined you should do comedy, man. Because you are so colorful and honest.
Sinbad was like,
outstanding.
Sinbad was like, dude, you going to do a 15-minute set one day.
I promise you. I'm going to make you open
Teddy
up for me.
Carpenter called me.
I'm
Teddy Carpenter's like, no, you going to do a 15. I said, hey, bro, that ain't what I do.
But, bro, all you got to do is go up there and talk.
Oh,
And you're going to walk into it. You ain't got to say I'm doing stand-up. Just go up and be rolling. It's over.
I hosted George Lopez's comedy show twice.
Did you?
Guy Torrey was
not even a problem.
Dude, that was
layup for you.
Right. I was like, shit, just give me the mic. Ain't a problem.
I would like for you to do a drop for me with my book, man.
Got it.
Got to go get that book, man. On that camera right there. Let them know to get the book. It's a bestseller right now. Let them know.
What up, folks? Roland Martin here, founder, CEO of the Black Star Network. Y'all have got to get my man Bill Bellamy's book. It's called Top Billin, bestseller. Stories of laughter, lessons, and triumph. You will absolutely enjoy it. For all you Omegas, it's all good. You can't read, he got photos. 06.
Thank you. Yo, we got Roland S. Martin in the building.
It's going to be lit.